Hi everyone, my name is Mikko Puikkonen from CREx, and today we'll be talking about how to use AI for fund management. Every quarter, there's just so much time that always goes into making the reports. In my career, I've always had very few times where I've really been able to focus on analyzing reports or analyzing data. Really, most of my time and effort has always gone into making those reports. And really at the end of each quarter, when the fund ops team have to go through different regular reporting requirements or perhaps questions from LPs, what's our Dallas exposure, what is going on with this particular fund or this particular region, that always takes so much time. There's also a mechanical risk of that there is so many systems where data is coming from, so many different reports and supplementals that you may need to prepare, that there's just a lot of opportunity for small errors and issues. So what we want to do with AI is we all want to be able to work smarter, not harder. That, our current 2-day process could be a question from an LP. We have analysts pulling different statements, reports from Yardi, other real estate systems. We need to do a lot of formatting and spreadsheet gymnastics to get there. And then we need to polish and send out those letters that all take time. And with AI, what we can do is take exports and paste them into a model. And an AI can quickly assemble, draft things for you to review and do calculations. But what you want to make sure is that it's always verified by a human person, and then we get that polished result out the door. So let's take just a quick example. And so I have Claude pulled up here. And so in Claude, I have a prompt created in advance. So basically what we are doing here is that, we're trying to tell Claude that, okay, what is the perspective we're trying to accomplish? So oftentimes it helps to state who you are or what you are. So you're a fund controller writing for institutional LPs, and we're going to paste a quarterly NAV bridge or a roll forward statement. And what do we want it to do? We want it to quickly draft a 4 to 6 sentence of professional commentary that explains the NAV movement based on capital activity. And we want to highlight if there's a dollar impact and what that is. But then we also want to always make sure we put in some guardrails around what we're requesting. Because otherwise, if there's no data given, AI is very notorious for hallucinating or inventing data. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that if there are data points that we did not provide, that it shouldn't speculate, but we wanted to mark those as a driver to yet to be confirmed. And that is a confidence booster and builder for us. So let's take a look at then the data set that we will paste in here. So I have created just this sample statement of capital transaction activity. For this sample would be for 2 different funds. There's some operating results, fund level activity, realized, unrealized items. And so let's just take this whole data set, no formatting here, just we do Control C, and we're going to copy and paste it here just to the back of our prompt and statement. Do Control V to paste that, and then we'll click as sending a message. So let's see what Claude is able to do with this data and the prompt or the request that we gave it. Okay, so very quickly, we are able to see, combined NAV going down 0.8 million during the quarter, net capital activity reduced, and what was the impact of that? And then what we're seeing here in the middle of this document is that, okay, driver to be confirmed. So that is exactly the behavior, what we're looking to see, that, hey, the guardrails that we put on this request are being enforced and honored. And now if we wanted to do some additional formatting to this data, we can certainly do that with different guidance that we could also give Claude or your AI tool of choice at this time. But I mean, so fast, it analyzed all the data and is giving meaningful information for you to review and send to your LPs as quickly as possible. So, okay, so what is AI and what is it not? So again, AI is fantastic for doing first drafts, be it letters, memos, commentary. It can spot patterns in different LP registers, capital accounts, cash flows, any kind of data that you can give it. It can extract information. Maybe you have very complex legal documentation. You want to pull a quick summary of side letter obligations, and it will do that very quickly for you. And you can also give AI guidance on how to match your tone. For example, I always tell my AI that I want things to be more brief, be more punchy. That's really something I learned in making PowerPoints. I want them to be punchy. They need to be really short and to the point. But what AI is not a calculator that you can trust blind. You need to verify the calculations. It can definitely make mistakes. It is not a rubber stamp. You should never use it as such, or a source of market facts. So you should not ask AI to go scour the internet. Most enterprise AIs won't even allow for that. It'll invent the data, no problem. What you want to use is your data sets you may already subscribe to from a reputable data provider, but it will glean amazing insights, and it will always require your judgment. No one understands the business and what you need to do better than yourself, so you need to be able to give it your input. And we're going to be going through some different use cases, some fund accounting, investor reporting, fundraising, portfolio management, and compliance. And we'll be going through one of these examples. So today we'll be looking at a different example, and that is to analyze LP commitment register and then to do a new capital call for a deal that we are looking to do. So I have here a prompt again pulled up. So, we start out by explaining again what are we doing, who we are. We ask it to do multiple different things, and we'll do it in the sequence that we want these activities to occur. So we're going to feed it a commitment register. We want the AI to audit it, confirm ownership percentages. If there are any missing amounts, highlight any findings there. If there are any errors that need to be corrected, we've done those. And then we're going to draft a capital call notice. And then we will also have a pro rata schedule for each investor with their amount due, and then any unfunded capital that they have remaining in this fund. And then, again, validate the totals. So after we've fed the prompt, we can just, again, take and we will drag and drop the whole commitment register. And then we'll go ahead and just make it think. And it's probably going to take a few minutes here, so we will probably fast forward just a little bit. Okay, and we're back. It is still doing some calculations there, but I actually forgot to show before I sent that off exactly what that register looks like that we fed into this. And so this is, a typical schedule of the different LPs in our sample fund. The commitments and the ownerships that are associated with that. Any capital that has been called to date, a percentage number, and then any unfunded commitments there. And so, okay, so if we are with looking at this with a keen eye, we're already noticing that we may have some issues here. So let's just take a quick look to see what was discovered as we fed this information to our AI assistant here. So here we have our findings. So we have a list of different things that we found. So we have some high severity items, some medium, low. So this is a very good for us to understand, okay, what was a potential issue in our underlying data set? What does the corrected register now look like? Okay. So we have, again, exactly similar structure. We have our commitments, ownership percentage, any capital called to date, percent, and unfunded commitments here. And so now all the numbers tie out here at the bottom. So already it looks like we've done some great work. And then we also ended up with a capital call notice that we can share. We have the deal points from the data, when is the capital due, what is the total amount being called, and a letter. And this again can be modified for each group, what you want the details to be. And then we have a specific quick calculation already done for the $18 million call amount. That, okay, based on ownership percentages, what is each person's individual or each group's individual call amount? And then what is the unfunded capital remaining after this capital call? So really, again, this just took, a couple of minutes to process that. We found any errors, so we can always have a data quality check as we're processing these. And it quickly formatted these, ready for us to process. So I think this is, again, a fantastic use of AI in processing capital calls. So thanks again for watching today, and we'll look at a different example next time.